What's up, everyone? We're looking at 3 news stories from around the gaming globe today, including Ubisoft has begun issuing refunds for the Prince of Persia Remake. So what does that mean for the actual release? FIFA's first non-EA games will be blockchain games, and reports from InsiderGaming.com indicate we might see a PlayStation 5 Pro model before we see an official Slim redesign. In today's daily gaming news, real quick, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and share your thoughts down in the comments below. But let's get into it. Potentially the most surprising news story is Inside Gaming's reporting about the new PlayStation 5 model due out next year in 2023. So let's take a look at the article highlight. The article title reads, "New rumors suggest PlayStation 5 Slim is releasing in 2003. And we're just going to be reading through some of the key points here. So it states, a new report from TheLeak.co has suggested that a new PlayStation 5 Slim model is set to release in 2003. The leak reports the goal for Sony is to reduce the weight and the size of the console, but it's understood that the new console internally is referred to as the D chassis, will not necessarily be branded as a Slim version. In fact, this new console is set to replace the old PlayStation 5 entirely, as previously reported. Insider Gaming has seen internal documentation that suggests the old PlayStation 5 console will cease production in October fiscal year 2023, with the last units hitting shelves in November fiscal 2023. It's understood that this change to the PlayStation 5 console is to reduce weight and size to save on shipping costs, but also to save on production costs. This begs the question though, when are we getting a PlayStation 5 Pro? Sources believe a Pro version is likely to come even later than that, with the tentative fiscal year 2025 number being given as a prediction by one source with knowledge. In conclusion, we don't think we're getting a PlayStation 5 Slim in 2023, or at least not branded as that anyways, and instead we should expect a new and 4th iteration on the PlayStation 5. So the article indicates the new PlayStation 5 model, while indeed weighing less and perhaps being a little smaller in size, will not change its outer appearance if at all, and certainly won't be branded as a PlayStation 5 Slim. Instead, it's meant as an iteration, like they mentioned, a new SKU to replace the existing PlayStation 5 moving forward. The most interesting thing the article mentioned is they're getting reports of a PlayStation 5 Pro model before anything about an official Slim model redesign. And that's a little odd to me because the PlayStation 4 Slim and the PlayStation 4 Pro released within a year of each other, and just 2 years after the PlayStation 4's launch. So one would think we should have heard about the official Slim redesign before the PlayStation 5 Pro redesign. This might mean that Sony may not plan to release a separate Slim model at all for the PlayStation 5, perhaps to either prevent clutter on store shelves or confusion from customers having too many options. But nothing is set in stone yet, as these are just reports. But Tom Henderson, who runs InsiderGaming.com, is pretty spot on about these kind of reports and leaks. However, it may just be that he hasn't heard of anything about the PlayStation 5 Slim yet, as I for one would like to see a PlayStation 5 in a more smaller form, but with just as much power. I would hope that we are still getting one in the future, perhaps even on the same year as the PlayStation 5 Pro. We're going to move on to the next article, the next news story, again from Insider Gaming. This one about FIFA using the blockchain for its new games after leaving their prior deal with EA. And the article here is titled, FIFA's next games will be blockchain titles. We're going to read some of the highlights. There's 4 games in development and plan to be released that coincide with FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, and they are AI League FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition. They have it listed as a 4-on-4 casual football soccer game played between AI controlled characters with player input at fun and tactical moments, it was said. The next game we had was Upland Metaverse. This will be the largest blockchain-based metaverse mapped to the real world, where players can buy and sell virtual property, including legendary video highlights of the tournament. The third game, Match Day Challenge FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition, targets the emotional high of football fandom through a highly engaging casual social prediction game based on football cards, where the essence of the fun is derived not just from getting it right, but by being the best among your friends. And this to me kind of sounds just like normalized gambling. But we have the fourth game here. Fourth and final game, Faigatal is an immersive experience fans join forces on with the mission to co-create the global first fan-generated digital reward. So this sounds like if you were to imagine a company where you work for free to create goods, and you can only sell those goods within the company itself, and the company is getting a cut from every transaction within itself. That's what that sounds like to me. But the article ends basically saying the news comes following EA's announcement that the publisher will no longer be publishing FIFA titles and instead will be rebranding the series as EA Sports FC, perhaps giving players more options other than these blockchain games moving forward. And after this news of blockchain gaming, I kind of think the series would have been better left to EA. We're looking at a normalized gambling hub in one game, a game where players create and share the product while the company takes a cut of everything. Another game that sounds like a YouTube or TikTok-like service that charges you to obtain and probably beat the clips. And only one of these games sounds like a normal game, the AI League, but it will no doubt have the loot box gambling mechanics that masochists seem to love. And none of these truly need the blockchain for any of this, but they have it regardless. The blockchain isn't doing anything special for these games, and it's totally unnecessary. At least FIFA is starting to see more competitors in the market to give players some options moving forward. That might be the one silver lining. We're going to go to the last story though, and it's something of a PSA shout out to inform people to check your emails or bank accounts for refunds from Ubisoft due to the undetermined release date for the Prince of Persia Remake. And we're going to go over to videogamechronicles.com that has the write-up. The article's titled Ubisoft refunds Prince of Persia Remake pre-orders, but insists it's not cancelled. We're just going to read the majority of the article, if not the whole thing here. An update on Ubisoft's website about Prince of Persia The Sands of Time Remake informed players that their pre-orders will be refunded. On this page, last updated on November 7th, the company highlighted that Prince of Persia The Sands of Time Remake is not cancelled, but that since the game currently does not have a release date, existing pre-orders have been cancelled and refunded where applicable. It added that the game is currently still in development at Ubisoft Montreal and that its new release date has not been set yet. Pre-orders will reopen once the launch window is announced. Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake was initially unveiled in 2020 and was due to release in January 2021. But in December 2020, Ubisoft pushed it back to March 2021, and it was then announced to be postponed indefinitely. In June 2021, the remake of the 2003 title was slated for 2022 now. No new release date has been announced since, but the title switched studios earlier this year, going from Ubisoft Pune and Mumbai studios to Ubisoft Montreal. The article ends there, but just my 2 cents. Probably won't be seeing them announce a release window for about another 3 or plus years, as the development was most likely reset once the studio switched to Ubisoft Montreal. I believe that's one of their main powerhouse studios. And if you look at the reception and the actual graphic fidelity of the trailer they released for the remake originally, the graphics look more like an update high-res version of the original game, and the reception was not very good. So if I had to guess, they're probably going to do a full asset overhaul, and it will probably take at least 2, maybe 3 years before we see any more news on this. But at least it is still in production, and it being in the Montreal team's hands probably means it's definitely going to come out. And that's all for this video. Let me know your opinions about these news stories in the comments section below. And thanks for watching Game Xfinity.